Howdy, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Contagious Smile, Unstoppable with my wife, the lovely Victoria.
It's such a good mood.
And I'm like
Why even such
the
a
guy in the background. So, what's up with you two? Speak up so everybody can hear you.
I've been busy.
And you're talking to the world.
Uh,
And thank y'all very much. We're still in the top 1%
we are globally. It's insane. It's crazy.
of the most listened to podcasts. And it's only because of y'all.
Yep.
Y'all listen, lead y'all jack.
They love us. And you know what? I want to take a
They
second.
love you.
Minute. I
You're the
want to
gorgeous
take
one.
a minute. I want to take a minute and thank
Was that rocket?
everybody for telling my husband that he is amazing and we have such great chemistry together, because he doesn't listen to me when I hear tell him that. But he has such he had such a nice gift the other day, and it was a celebrity who sent us a message and said how awesome we were. And he actually sent the message to my husband telling him happy birthday. And then he kept saying what great chemistry we have together and he loves hearing us. That was awesome. Frank Wiley.
Frank Wiley.
Right.
He's been in a ton of movies.
Like hundreds of movies, but he's best known for like Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, a cult classic. Everybody should watch Pulp.
Career Opportunities. He's been on a lot of TV shows too. You see his face, you just know who it is. But he sent my husband a message thanking him for all he does and happy birthday and just all sorts of sweet messages and how great we are together. And then I interviewed a lovely lady.
I want to say thank you, Mr. Wiley.
Okay.
So thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
And then I interviewed a lovely lady whose podcast just came out, Laura, who told me right off the bat before we even recorded how much she loves us. And she even did it on the recording talking about how much she loves our podcast.
Okay, so two people.
No, two people in like 2 days. You hear, okay, I'm going to bring Dave Campbell involved. I can name drop all day long about people who say that we are awesome together on air. So why can't you just take it as a compliment? You're already having a great day. Why do you want to put vinegar in the mix?
This beer's nice.
That's the best part of your day.
That's it. Buddy.
That's the best part of your day is your beer.
No, I woke up. Hey, if I'm upright and breathing, it's a good day.
Nothing else great happened to you today?
I came home to see my wife, my daughter. Freaking awesome.
We put an update out about everything going on our GoFundMe, and we want to thank everybody who has been generous in donating. It does make a huge difference, because I have 2 surgeries coming up, and as my husband said in his update, I refuse to stay in the hospital because I won't, just like any of my other surgeries, including my amputation. And then I refuse to take any pay meds. Can we talk about the gentleman you met today? And, it's one thing to live with an amputee. It's another thing to hear from someone who is also an amputee and give them an insight. My husband has known me forever, and he knows that my pain tolerance is stupid. I mean, really. But he met.
It's like your IQ.
I can't help it that I don't have a high IQ.
And y'all, when I say IQ, she has 3 doctors.
Oh my God, here we go with the honorary crap again. Anyway, so like I was saying, you met this really nice gentleman who was telling you about his journey down the road of amputation, and that he is on a regimen. And everyone I've talked with that is an amputee is on a regimen from pain management and like everything they go through. They have stem routers, which, as we know, I've had 4, and they've had, they have around the clock pain medication distribution. And I've never taken the first pain medication. And he even told you that even with all the pain meds, it doesn't really help him. And he's what kind of amputee is he? him.
So I hope this individual, they'll probably listen to our podcast because I gave them one of our cards today.
I would love to talk about it. Let me just.
Okay, I'll try to set it up for you. You're welcome, dear. So the individual called me to his house to fix his garage door. I work in garage doors in the daytime. I said that on there. Okay. And just speaking with him because he was sitting in a wheelchair, covered up with a blanket. And I have no tact, y'all. None whatsoever. I will tell you, you got a booger hanging out your nose, your five unzip.
You've done this to complete stranger.
Yes. Your horse is trying to come out of the barn, that sort of thing.
Oh my God.
I blatantly asked the gentleman, what happened? Why are you in a wheelchair?
You have no tact to that at all. You're like,
That was it. That's exactly how I asked. I looked him straight in the eye and asked him.
some people would be offended.
We're both
That's
men.
how you ask.
Well, that's how I asked. What happened?
Go ahead.
So he covers a blanket, says, I had an amputation. I said, well, and I continued to look him in the eye. I said, was it gout, gangrene, or diabetes? He said it was diabetes.
Was it above the knee or below?
It was just below. And it was still wrapped up. And he said, this has been a year ago. And I said, I'm inquiring because I saw the gloves from the door and want to know if you needed help with medical supplies. Because, we've been known to obtain medical supplies that we can help pass around that are not used by other individuals. And that's how it led into a conversation about his amputation. So he said it's diabetes. And he said it's still leaking. It will not heal up even after a year. Right. And he proceeded to tell me that they're trying to get him to amputate the other one. And he has refused.
Good for him.
Because he's been through this for a year and he doesn't feel any better.
He probably feels worse because it's utter hell.
And then they dropped the bomb on him that, the longevity might be cut a little short.
For what reason,
life.
though?
I don't know. I don't want to tell his story if he wants to come on. I don't want to spoil it for him. He was a really nice guy. I won't mention his name, but I hope he comes on. And if his wife's there listening, I hope y'all come on and tell your story correctly. But, I told him that, hey, make sure you have, my wife's a paralegal, but make sure you have all your paperwork, while you're in your right frame of mind, you're not in a stressful environment, the hospital, your survivors have, so he was, even though I don't have tact, I come across, kind of honestly. And I think that's why people respond to it. So his outlook was kind of dire to me. And I felt my heart went out to him. So I say, what? He did. I had to quit that. So that's that story for that guy. It's sad. I drink a lot of beer. I'm 270 pounds.
You're really trying not to say
I'm not a real fat guy, but
you're tall.
I could watch what I eat and drink because I don't want to lose a leg. I don't want to lose an arm.
Thank you.
And I told him, I said, my wife says she'd rather lose both legs than her arm.
What did you say about?
He said, I've heard that a lot. I told him this. We're now advocating for amputees.
I'm actually certified amputee coalition. Here, counseling.
So regardless, y'all get your paperwork, your wills, your trust, your everything. Just get it all organized and in order.
But do me a favor, because so many people I've heard listen to us, if they're family of amputees, what did he tell you about the pain of this? Because some people.
Oh, he said it's excruciating. He said that he is on a regimen of, and I don't want to say this word, opioids. I said that right, y'all. Pain meds that he takes so much of it doesn't even help him out. And it's been a year, y'all. How much of addiction would you have if you took everything they prescribed to you?
I've never taken the first pill.
Right. If you took everything they prescribed, you have some strong barbiturates and opioids and all that hoo-ha. Yeah, my wife won't even take the CBD gummies, y'all.
No.
I mean, the most I've ever seen her take is an Advil.
Yeah.
So
And that took a lot to get me to do that. Yeah. That's why so many people like have spouses or family members and they get to the point where it's routine. They see that individual that's amputated and they just get to the point where they're like, oh, they're fine now. It's been X amount of time since the amputation. They can't be hurting anymore, blah, 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 blah. That's why I wanted you to share what this gentleman said about his pain because it never goes away. And I tell you every day that my heart goes out to these people because one thing my husband will tell you is I don't complain about it because it doesn't make a hill done bit of difference. It's not going to make the pain go away.
I do, y'all. I complain.
But
my daughter says I'm a big baby.
That's not the word
she doesn't use that word.
But I don't complain because it doesn't make a difference. But I'm here to tell you, there's not a day that goes by I don't wish that I had made a different choice. I didn't have a choice. I'd be interested to see if he has CRPS. I have CRPS, and
in his legs.
It could be everywhere. It's kind of
well. When I mentioned that, he didn't comment.
You mentioned CRPS. Well, some people have it, some people don't. And once you get it, you can't get rid of it. And it's not something you want. Like you try to run from it. No pun intended. But literally.
I had a blind date.
What foreign country was she from?
Y'all hear how speechless he was for 4.2 seconds?
What foreign country was she from?
I don't know.
Did we have a treaty with them?
I do not recall, ma'am.
Did they season it?
I did not inhale.
Yes, my husband used to like the assorted chocolate box.
Oh, we're talking about amputations.
Yeah, you're the one who brought it there, not me. And then you finally got white chocolate, and now you love it, and you never want dark chocolate again. It's a metaphor.
You're like peppermint patty.
Why am I peppermint patty? I can't wait for this.
Because you're white and you're redhead. Where are your peppermint then? Just be peppermint. Okay? You're spearmint. How that?
I'm be spearmint.
Well, then be peppermint. Just be mint.
Can I be strawberry creme brulee?
No. That's my sexual meaning.
Anyway, the pain doesn't get better, it gets worse over time. It doesn't calm down. It doesn't. I mean, there are times that even my therapist, Seth, will come up to me right beforehand, and he'll come up and like put his paw on my leg or try to come up next to me because my limb, nub, whatever you want to call it, I'm not the mind use quietly for it, but will start looking as if it's having a seizure, and it starts sporadically. I don't even call it like convulsing.
It's a spasm.
Right. But then there are times I try to move it, but I can actually like make it move where my finger is moving. Like I can make that part where my index finger move right there.
How many people are shaking their head? Yes, they know what you're talking about.
I have another arm amputee. Everyone I get to talk with and everything is, well, I've reached out to a couple.
You've got 40 million listeners.
I've reached out to a couple. I would love to talk to a couple. Everybody that I've talked to is legs.
If you are missing an arm or hand from birth or some stage of your life, reach out to Victoria.
But it doesn't get any better. The shrinkers are excruciating. And if you remember, I didn't do any physical therapy, and they didn't push me to do it. I didn't go to physical therapy. The only thing I went to was my prosthesis, and that was to build my prosthetic. And it's a beautiful piece that decorates on top of a piece of furniture because I can't wear it. For those that don't know, I have a shoulder replacement, and I'm not allowed to carry more than 10 pounds on this arm. And my prosthetic with everything in it is like 15. So it's excruciating. And like literally, you have to make your mind move this thing. And it's tiresome. And I have been very lucky with the fact that I've read so many stories of people where they have infections in their nubs and they get, all these different things going on with their nubs and they're awful. I've been very lucky because we haven't had that.
Keep going.
What are you doing?
Let's keep
You
going.
want a pen?
I do.
See? Oh, speaking of I do's, here.
Oh,
So we are renewing our wedding vows again. We do it every year
why'd you say it like that again?
because I am very honored and proud to be doing it again.
I love to do
Keep it.
it. PG.
So we do this every year so that we technically stay newlyweds, even though the playful banter we have between us, I don't think that'll ever be a problem. And we're going to be doing that here coming up the next few weeks. We have a wonderful woman who has been doing this as a beautiful gift for us basically every year.
I won't tell you her name, but Angela!
I don't think people in like Tahiti heard. So that will be happening here in the very near future. And we're trying to figure out if you guys have some ideas about faith, what we can do. We were going to celebrate, and from everything she ever came, and she was going to be going to her special needs camp. But she's unable to go because she hasn't healed up enough to make anyone, including Mike and I, feel comfortable enough for her to attend, and her doctors agree. So she's not able to go. So then we were looking at maybe taking her to one of her favorite little concerts, which would have been New Kids on the block when they come in a couple months. And doctor says she can't be around that many people or in a large crowd because of her low immune system. So we're striking out every which way possible in order to try to do something amazing, fun, and celebratory for she's gone through education. So if you have any ideas, let us know. We're trying to come up with something that's not costly, since we're still on this road and these other two surgeries. My husband has to take off work for 2 days. Luckily, they're not back to back, but it's coming up in the future. So that's all of this. Now, can we please talk about some of this bullshit that's going on everywhere about this? What about the guy that I don't want to give all the information out? Oh, because he thought his son was fat?
That his son, that his 6-year-old or 2-year-old.
No, the 2-year-old
The
couldn't
6-year-old.
get his juice box fast enough and his dad murdered him.
That is insane.
I think that
2
is
years old.
2 years old couldn't get his juice box. I would have taken that child, raised that child, and given that child a home. But I mean, seriously, what if that freaking what if that freaking dumbass person's dad or mom did that to him? You know, like you think about that for a minute, that is your child. And you're gonna kill this beautiful, innocent child who's done nothing, did not ask to come into this world, and you kill this kid because he didn't get his juice box fast.
None of us can comprehend that.
I cannot wrap my head around
You take
how somebody can do that. Psychology, psychiatry, you know, I've been even doing courses that just make me dumbfounded, like this emotional incestual, I always try to say it differently first, incestual relationships.
I can say consensual sexual.
Where a parent has an emotional relationship, unlike parent and child, but more like spouse, partners. And that's creepy. I mean, that's just
So the parent treats their child like
spouse.
a spouse and does everything with them, even to the point of possibly physical contact.
Yes, and it might not be actual intercourse, but things like rubbing each other, doing things like sleeping in the same bed, going on vacations, just the two of you. One of them is very codependent on the other one. The child never grows up realizing how they could have been a child because they're always held in this other light. You know, like I know I'm no contact with my biologicals, but there is no way I would have ever, like, my bio dad and I, years ago, I can't even tell you how long ago, went to go see my grandmother's best friend before she passed away. And we drove down there together and we stayed in one of those, what do you call it? The
Bungalow?
no, it was like a suite that had the pull-out bed and the den or whatever, and then the bedroom and the like it was like a room that you could pull out the couch and there'd be a bed there, and then there were doors, and then there was a bedroom, right? But like I was a broke joke when I was young. You couldn't have paid me money to get in there and stay in the same bed with him, or rub his back, or rub his feet, or what. There is no way in hell that I would have done that. Ever, never, ever, ever, ever. And it is done.
Now, it's okay to a certain point because you got kids. They're scared of the dark. They're scared of thunder.
I mean, that's
You know,
different. We're
it
talking
is so
grown
different.
people at this point.
Yeah, there's a limit when the child reaches a physical age or a mental age.
Or if there's special needs, it's a totally different situation.
Correct.
You know, like you have a child, say for instance, Faith is of age, but mentally she's not. And when she has a procedure or something the night before, she always wants me to give her cuddles. And so I do. And I snuggle her. And she always feels better when she has either mommy or daddy snuggles. And it's because mentally she's a child. You know, that's not the same thing. This is like laying in bed and rubbing your feet or rubbing your backside or things like that you and I would do. Stop it. That you and I would do as a married couple or dating or in a relationship as consensual adults. So
It was called what again? Emotional
incest. I'd say incest.
You have 3 freaking doctorates. You go to 4 Ivy League schools.
Whatever. It's incest. See, you always get better.
You can pronounce
Emotional incest syndrome.
You can pronounce every medical terminology there is, like that fundamentalism vacation. See, who says that?
Pyloro plastic. Can you say that?
No, and I bet you can say fragilis is up backwards.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You know, you can say it backwards, which is socialistfragilistic. That's not what you call it.
But you can't say that
word. It's incestual. I have 26 years. My baby, alone.
Like anybody's going to give you slack.
Anyway.
You've got one arm. You sit here on the computer for 27 hours a day.
Yeah.
You've written 28 books.
Actually, more. I didn't know.
Son of a. I've been keeping secrets.
You know, it's so funny. This is hilarious. Like, if you, my husband and mine, like, you're are you ready? I wrote an ESL workbook.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You just love the Hispanics, don't you?
Yeah. I wrote an ESL.
Is that your ring finger?
No.
No. I thought it was your ring finger you showed me.
I wrote an ESL workbook for elementary kids. It's super cute. I'm going to be publishing it here soon.
But it is.
It is. It's super cute. It's working on all the fundamentals of things. And it's over 100 pages, of course, because all my workbooks are. But it's super cute.
So if y'all haven't recently been to our website, please get on there, contagiousmile.com, and look at everything that my wife does, or the plethora of services she has. And there's more to follow on the other website. Is it up yet?
No.
No. You're slacking. What do? Sit around all day? You sit on your butt all day?
And negotiate. I think I did a good negotiation today, which we will not discuss.
Why not?
Because we can't.
Okay. Don't want to bring it up.
Because you don't give me enough credit on my negotiation skills.
Woman, I give you all of
Do not.
You are everything. I'm the president.
CEO is above us. I had this company before you and I were even got together. I founded this
Really?
company.
And whose company is it now?
Mine.
I'm sorry?
I didn't stutter.
Oh, I just got a heartburn.
Oh, I was a bitch.
So what's yours and mine? What's mine is yours.
It's all both of ours. But I founded
You
this
just said
company.
mine.
That's because you just said I'm presidente, which means it's mine. So if you don't want to give kudos to where kudos is due, then I'll say, hey, it's mine. I founded it.
Simply stated, God.
Which was what again?
On our business card.
It says president,
It says Michael.
and then
president.
it says founder and CEO is me.
I didn't finish. That's not going to go there.
Why would you want to marry me?
Have you seen you?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have.
You're hot.
No.
Everybody who sees you on the website, they know your lustrous eyes.
And my ass has its own zip code.
They can see your ass.
But it does
They
have
not
its
be looking
own
at your
zip
ass.
code. It does.
They can look at your face.
It's great when your hair's overcome. So let me ask you, how do you feel about this audiobook I've been working for a while that I have yet to finish? I'm working on a book cover. It's kind of really getting to me because I can't get it just the way I want it.
The guillotine would be too nice.
No, the topic of it.
Yes, for the individual.
I think
What? No,
it's a
probably
prequel.
certain body parts first.
That goes back to the incestual thing. It's the prequel as to how particulars became. And you know, people look when you're house hunting and you're looking from the outside looking in, it looks one way. But when you've moved in and you're really there, that's when you really understand the concept of day-to-day life. And what most people don't understand about narcissists is that they're only there for themselves. And if you can't provide something that they want, they have no need for you. And a lot of times the cruelty that they put upon you in return is god awful. Like they'll stop speaking to you. Even if you're in the same dwelling, they will stop speaking to you because you did not fulfill a need that they had, like giving them an excuse to fornicate with someone else, another woman, another man, whatever the case may be. You were never good enough. There's the roles of the black sheep and the golden child, and it is sick and demented and twisted, and it really does put you on a path where I guess one of the things I always say when I'm on these other shows is that if I could do anything, it would help these adults where they don't have to spend their adulthood recovering from their child, because it's hideous. That's why I'm so glad our kids won't be having to spend their adulthood recovering from their childhood. Because if you really love your kids, you would never freaking do that. I mean, if any of our kids, let's not even go there. Let's go for a minute to your brother. I hadn't met him yet years ago, and he got in an accident. And immediately I was like, let's go. What does he need? Let's go. Let's get down there. Let's go. You know, we were sending stuff down there to the family every day. I hadn't met him. And that's what you do for family, right? But when you have a grandchild, for instance, who you know and have heard that they're not, how do you want to say it? That they literally had almost died. And they know this for a fact, and they don't reach out. They don't try to say anything. They don't try to do anything. But you know, how do you do that as a person, as a parent, as a grandparent, whatever the case may be? How do you know that your grandchild is laying in the hospital bed fighting for their life, already almost passed, and you don't even try to see them? You don't even try to, you know, check on them or see how it's going, no matter if there's no contact or not. Because really, in the whole scheme of things, still, are you really not going to reach out and just anything? And then, you know, forget that I was amputated and there was not even a check on that one. which, you do it to me, please do it to me instead of my child or our child, because, I've had this my whole life. But when you don't even check on our kid, when, let's say, since December, would you safely say she's had her 30 surgeries safely? Yes. We've been in the hospital. We've been in the hospital basically since December. And I never came home. I stayed in the hospital the entire time, as others who know me well know. And you can't even check on Faith. You can't say, oh my God, how many times has she coded? How many times she's in complete organ failure? She could need a kidney transplant. All of these things. And it wasn't, the fact is, that this is going on. And you can't even check on them. I mean, okay, tell me from a man's point of view, a father's point of view, whatever. How do you do that? How can you do that?
I don't know, because that's a lot going on in your life that trumps checking on your blood, your kin, your food.
What could possibly be more important?
I don't write a note.
For over 5 months.
Don't write a note.
And here's what's worse. You've seen him. You've seen my bio dad numerous times, like at least 3 since this all started. And never once, correct me if I'm wrong, I'll eat my words. Never once has he ever asked you.
Never. No problem.
Never asked you how she's doing.
So I'm curious, in your book, the upcoming book, you speak about where this originates from, how one becomes narcissistic.
I do.
Like from childhood or middle teens, or what? Is it developed later on in life? Well, after you get some power under your belt, or
it's different. It's different for every person. Like, I remember asking my grandmother, how could my bio father be so different than they are? She goes, well, I could say the same. And I said, how could that be when you raised him? And she was like, I could say the same thing for you. And I didn't understand that. I was too young. I didn't understand that. But with money, I mean, you've been to their house, because it's, and I am forever grateful. They did help let us stay there in a time of need. And I'm very grateful for that. And you know what? I'm not going to sugarcoat anything and say different, but it came at a very high price. It did. But they did. They let us stay there. And their house is not small. I mean, that's a very safe thing to say. Their house is mansion size. And we had our own side. We didn't even, interact very much. And I'm forever grateful that they gave us that opportunity when everything was happening with Faith back in the day. But like I said, it came at a price. But I can't imagine as a parent, literally, like, not being there for that person or even anyone in the family. Like, and that's the thing, is that you've said to me so many times, why do you care? Like, why do you care? And it's because I'm not wired like that. If I was, I wouldn't care. But I asked my husband if he had seen him. Does he look okay? He's healthy. Is he doing okay? Now I know. He hasn't asked about me, and I know he doesn't care because he hasn't asked about me. And he walked away from both myself and Faith. And that's fine. It's hard for me to even comprehend why, And Faith held no filter when it came to them, because she didn't like how I was treated. She didn't like how she got treated. Faith was constantly used as an excuse to cover for other women. And that made it very challenging. So it's a big deal, the whole narcissistic thing.
How many of y'all listeners can relate to what my wife just spoke of? How many of y'all have read her book, Who Kicked First? Which is, like she said, the next upcoming book is, a prelude of the book Who Kicked First. So, as my wife has already, put out there, y'all contact us. We want to hear your side also.
From an officer's point of view and a male point of view and just a person's point of view, without saying names, what is your opinion of both of them? Without saying names, honestly, and just honest.
POS, at the very least. such definitely the biological father, if you want to say that, while I was a sperm donor, uh, at the bare minimum, should be incarcerated. At the bare minimum. Okay? Because of all the shady shit that he's done, probably his entire life. So,
But the one thing is, and I've heard it so many times when I went through the abuse and so many other times in my life, is why do you have so much proof of everything? It's like, and it's because always, always, always it's put on us that we're not telling the truth, that we're making it up. And so I've always kept proof of everything. Absolute hardcore proof. No question. It's not a he said.
y'all
she
listen to
said.
this.
It's not a he said, she said. It is a, black and white. Here it is. No holds barred.
So many times I took the stand as a police officer, and I had to defend things that I saw, the report that I gave, my training, my background. I had to bring all this to the surface and explain why such and such happened, why I saw this, what I observed, blah blah blah. And I'm the one. It felt like I was the one on trial. I was in the hot seat, and so time and time again, I had to prove why. Why did you arrest this dirtbag? Why did you apprehend Joey Bag of Donuts? Why did you throw him in lockup? Blah blah blah. So you're absolutely right. If y'all are out there, and my wife will tell you, get your proof safely. She can guide you how to do certain things.
But even when you do have your proof, you're still made out to be a liar. Like, I wasn't even around when certain things transpired, and I'm still put at blame. And even when they got proof that I wasn't the one, even though they knew I was, there was never an apology. There was never anything, because that's not within their wheelhouse. And I remember when I was even younger, like if somebody made them mad, especially my bio dad, somebody made him mad, I would go and tell him I'm sorry for whatever it was, and I would take the fall as if I did it, just so he'd stop ignoring me as a child. Just so he would stop doing whatever. He used to put me on top of an ottoman, or an armoire, and leave me there. And he didn't care. He would leave me there. And in the summertime, I used to try to make myself throw up so I didn't have to go to the pool with him, because I didn't want to be out there. Because I remember he was in the pool and he sneezed one time. And I said, God bless you. And he said, if you open your mouth again, I'm going to pinch you for every word you say. And he sneezed again a few minutes later. And I said, bless you. And he came over and pinched me twice. And I got bruised. And I do bruise easily. I'm not making that as an excuse. And, he talked and treated me so differently. And he has no relationship really with either of the other two siblings. So I used to literally make myself throw up so I didn't have to go out and go to the pool with him, because I just didn't need to be there. And he has no relationship with any of the children at all. And the thing is that I have all this proof, and I've never taken it to the other siblings, because, like, my bio brother, I wished him nothing but the best. He's incredibly book smart. He really is. He doesn't have a clue. He really doesn't have a clue. But I don't want to cause him distress. I don't want to cause him any ill will, even though, hands down, I can prove how they've both lied to him repeatedly. Something so simple like a sticker got put on his car, and I was accused of it. And I said, I didn't put the sticker on the car. And he and I don't speak to each other. And so I got accused. My mom got really mad, started accusing me, started accusing Faith of going into the car and putting that in the car. And I was like, we didn't do it. And so ended up that it got into a heated discussion. I went outside where my bio brother was with our bio mom. And I was like, I'm not the one who did it. And it got very nasty, because, well, nobody else would have done it, only you. And I said, why would I go in his car? Anyway, this just escalated. But I had proof in my phone where our bio dad opened the car door, sticker in hand, and put it on there. I have it to this day. I have the picture. And he put it on there. But he wouldn't take accountability. I got accused. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the simplicity of things like that that has kept all of us away from each other because everybody hears one thing, they don't care. Like, flat lies have been told to my brother, and he has no idea. None. I can prove all of it, but it doesn't matter. And I don't want to cause him any anguish. I don't want to cause him any ill will. I don't want him to hurt himself. I don't want anything negative to happen to him, even though he thinks that I am the world's worst person in America because of what he's been told, right? But every time he's ever been sick or something has happened, I've been front and center, making sure he's okay and that he doesn't. But then I read messages that he has no idea I've read about things he has said about me. He has no idea because he thinks that what he says to his bio mom is kept private, but it wasn't. And I have all the proof in the world, but it's irrelevant, and I don't want to do anything that would cause him. I don't. And am I innocent in it? No, I'm not. I'm not at all, because I was very ill about how he treated my daughter. But nobody's perfect in it. I accept my responsibility in it. I'm not perfect. I get it, but that doesn't mean I want anything bad to happen to him, because I don't. And I do remember having a conversation with him. The one time we actually had a conversation where I told him that I don't care who he's with, as long as whoever he's with treats him with respect and doesn't put their hands on them in an unwarranted manner. It didn't matter his sexual preference or choice. And I told him as long as he was happy, that's all that mattered, even though the family, parts of the family were absolutely against the fact that he was gay or is gay. Anyway, would you talk about something else? Because now I realize that I'm just going on about this because I feel like it's the only way, if there's like the tiniest chance that he listens to this, that, I don't care, as long as he knows that, I'm not trying to like cause a rift between him and his mom. I'm not trying to cause a rift, even though there's so much proof. There's so much proof. I just want him to know, I know he's a really smart kid. I know he doesn't deserve what he thinks is not going on. And that's all I'm going to say. And now I'm going to be quiet and let you say something, because I'm good.
Bless you.
Don't pinch me. Just kidding.
I will never hurt you.
I know you wouldn't.
You're the love of my life. You're my soulmate. We might get married here again very shortly, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Again, as y'all know, every year we get married, as my wife said, and we get new rings every year.
And they're not expensive. They're like $20 tungsten rings, but it's just about,
we pick different ones.
And we put them on. My husband has built this beautiful tree.
I'm still building it.
And it's amazing. And we're going to put all the other rings on there.
It's a tree of life that is made out of big, thick copper wire. And I've got all the rings, all but one. I think you have it somewhere. And we're gonna just put them on each branch as our next 150 years go by, and we're still together, and we'll still get married every year. And so, yeah, I came home from work one day, and I was telling the wife that my knees are really killing me. Oh, they're popping, they're grinding. They're really hurting. I'm having to use a pillar to go down on one knee when I work on the job. And I said, this is how I do it, because every time I go down, and she turned around and I went down on one knee. I said, when I go down like this, will you marry me?
And every year he has a different way he's done. But you know what you don't know is that you proposed to me on May 9th of this year. And last year you also proposed. The first year we got engaged, you proposed to me.
How do you remember that? Never mind, don't ask them.
And you know what? People think my memory is a gift. It really isn't. A lot of times it is not.
And that's what sucks.
I wish I could forget a lot.
I change underwear and you get another degree or doctorate or whatever.
I wish I didn't have it.
I don't know. It's not natural. okay, you're an alien or something. I don't know.
That's really sweet.
That's what I tell your kid. She's an alien.
Now she's my kid.
She's your kid when she's an alien.
Now she's my kid. She's your favorite kid.
She is. Don't tell him about it.
I think he was told for another people.
Oh shit. So yeah. We're happy about the and it'll be on my birthday. Yay. I'm so happy.
It's better than the alternative.
What?
Not being
51?
here at all.
Then we won't be getting married.
I'll go to the graveside.
You go to the graveside and ask me to marry me?
Yeah.
And then perform the ceremony?
I'll help Angela do it.
That's so weird. Do it. I dare you. You ain't got the cojones. You don't have the cojones.
You know damn well I will.
I know our daughter has cojones.
Don't start this mess.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, so when this book gets finished, are you going to read it? Are you actually going to read this one?
No.
You won't read this one?
Perhaps.
You won't.
If you allow me.
I'll let you read this one.
Will you allow me?
Mhm.
Since you're the CEO.
You're learning.
OMGs. Oh, my good giddy aunt.
Oh, while we're doing that, I have something to ask you. You did me a favor.
Does it involve baby oil?
What? Well, like the crick. What is a crick? Before I ask you.
Everybody knows what a crick is.
Cricket?
A crick.
Crick. We need to have our word of the podcast for you because people.
Your buddy Jeff's already wrote it all down.
Crick.
Yes.
Creek.
No. Crick.
Creek.
Yes.
Creek. Like a brook.
Like a small stream.
Stream.
Mm-hmm. Color.
Hello.
Okay, proceed.
I want to know. And now I'm only asking you in front of 41 members. You really can't say no. I want to know if you will write like a little inscription in this book about it before it gets published.
An inscription.
Mhm.
Okay.
You know how I wrote on Debbie's book for her?
Mhm.
Kind of like an overview of what the book's about and
So I have to read
insight.
the thing first.
Then yeah.
Or you can just give me the Jeff notes.
No, you should read it.
All right. I'll tackle it.
I have your word.
Yeah, my word. Oh, I gotta shake hands? My word. My word ain't gonna They just spit on our hands.
You spit on her hands. I have one hand, not hands. Don't
That's the
pull
only way
on
I'm shaking. Our hands. Our hands, woman.
on the crick.
No. Don't be goofy.
I have to be goofy on goofy. Also, we're thinking of doing all these other things coming up in the summer. If y'all have some suggestions, like we're going to do a podcasting camp for kids so that teens can learn.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. We have to go live. We have to do video now for Yahoo or YouTube or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So be watching for that. Yay.
Faith wants me to sing. Like,
I get to see my ugly
absolutely
mug.
not.
Oh, you can sing, woman.
No.
Yes.
No.
You sing like a 1-900 operator.
Oh my God, I do not.
Oh, yes. The melody that comes out of your vocals. Oh, my goodness.
You can put it competitively against Nora Jones.
That's sexy.
Would you put it up as equal?
Yes.
No, you would not.
Yes.
Back in the day, you would be like, oh, when you heard Nora Jones come on.
She's sexy singing. Her voice is just, it gets you.
See, you didn't describe my voice like that.
Oh, yes, your voice.
You didn't just
I
describe
said
my voice.
1-900.
Okay, but you wouldn't say Nora Jones.
Why do you
voice
call
is
1-900?
I don't know. I've never done it.
You want to dial it?
No.
I don't know if it's still functioning.
Have you ever done it?
No. I've done it, but I haven't. Oh, no.
You didn't just compare me appropriately. Like, do you think Nora Jones has a 900 number sex voice, singing voice thing? If you give her a 10, what would you give her? No. Whitney
10.
Houston's like a 50.
No.
Yes, she is. She had the most beautiful singing voice.
Some songs to me. Some was not. Some of those just too squeaky.
If you mention the other one, I don't like at all.
I will not mention Shakira, I promise.
I was talking about Nick Cannon's baby,
Who's that?
Mariah Carey.
Oh, I don't listen to her.
I can't stand her. She could beg to come on the show and I wouldn't.
Who's Shakira?
Or Mariah Carey.
Really?
Shakira might be going to jail.
Seriously?
Yeah. Tax fraud.
Oh, that's right.
What will you do? What is it about
That's
Shakira?
stupid.
What is it about Shakira that you like so much? Because she's Hispanic?
Her voice.
Then you like Christina Aguilera?
Just like I like the wings at Hooters. Just the wings. What's that look for, y'all?
You might be sleeping in downstairs in the cold room.
For the record, I haven't been Hooters in probably 18 years.
Hasn't been that long. What, they come to you? They were delivered?
No. If you suggest that,
no. You gotta quit while you're ahead.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So thank you for listening to
Jabber.
for an hour.
A what?
An hour. It's been about an hour. Hasn't it?
Who the hell taught you some of these words?
Miss Ladd in kindergarten.
Miss Ladd? So really was her name like Miss Lade?
No, it was Miss. No, I had a Miss Ladd for art teacher.
I bet you had her for art.
No, she was nice.
I've seen some of them.
Anyway, our hour's up. Thank y'all for listening. Y'all please go on contagiousmile.com. Check out everything, top to bottom, all tabs. Click on all pictures if they're clickable.
Pictures, like a picture of tea.
All hyperlinks. Click on everything because my wife literally works her sitting ass off up here on this website and the future website.
I work my fingers to the bone.
And love it. Love it. I love you.
I know.
I love you more.
I know you most.
And please go to Amazon and pick up our book, Who Kicked First by Victoria Cure. And pick up our daughter's book, y'all. That just y'all don't know how much it makes my daughter happy.
She has more than one book.
She's my daughter. And right now she's mine because I'm proud of her.
Okay.
Pick up her book. I Am Kitten, Dad's Girl, and dang proud of it. She super wrote it just for me. And it's all about me. And I love it because she analyzes me. So, too much.
Oh, yes.
So y'all pick up those two books. Who Kicked First and I Am Kitten. I met one of our customers who actually read the books, and she was like almost 80, and she loved it. She said it was so adorable.
We went to Faith Otolaryngologist and
The what?
Otolaryngologist?
Otolaryngologist.
You're gonna make me pee.
Otolaryngologist.
Otolaryngologist.
Otolaryngologist. How do you say this shit, woman?
Otolaryngologist.
Arto.
Otolaryngologist.
Otolaryngologist.
Okay.
I'm gonna drink another beer.
We went to her otolaryngologist and he walks in and he was like, I love the website and I freaking love the book. And he specifically went through and named and discussed some of the I Am Kitten book to her. And
that's awesome.
He was like, I freaking love it. Because I went home and told my girls, because he has 4 girls, he's like, hey, where's mine? You know? And he was like, I love it. I love it. I love it. It's amazing. And then she told him about the other book she did. It's on Amazon about a little girl who goes through surgery for the first time, her first IV, and how she gets through it. And so he was like, now I got another one to go read. And so it's like, just to do that. Oh, and I didn't even tell you, I had to show you this picture. When I took Faith last week for our most current lab checks, right? We're at the hospital and we're doing labs and stuff, and she's sitting there and she's talking, and the lady keeps looking at her. And this other lady is just like, why is she looking at this girl so differently? And she keeps talking and talking, and then she goes, "You just are really familiar to me." And then all of a sudden she goes, "Oh, I know who you are." And of course, Faith is sporting her contagious melting top shirt on, and she goes, "I have listened to your podcast." And she's like, "Oh, okay, thanks. Have a good day." And she starts to walk out. And they're like, "No, we need a urine sample." And she's like, so she grabs the
She
thing.
didn't say that.
Oh, yes, she did. And I'm behind her going, "I'm so sorry."
Wow.
And we come back, and Faith puts the urine sample down on the thing, and the nurse comes over with like a paper towel out of the whatever dispenser and a pen. He goes, "Can I have your autograph?" And I took a picture of Faith giving an autograph right next to her urine sample.
That's hilarious. Oh my God, we gotta post that.
And she was like, "Oh,
That's it.
so shit."
Wow.
And she's like,
I'm gonna save some of her urine.
like she's looking at me
Oh,
going, "Oh, are you serious?" And Faith is looking at me like, "Mom."
Faith hates being infamous or
Well, she
famous
wants
or
to help other
known.
people. Yes, she
Yeah, but
wants to
she
help other
wants to be in the
people.
background. She
But
doesn't want to be
no,
in the
she
limelight.
does not want to be the center of attention for it at all. Let me see, where's this picture at? Look at it. It was hilarious. And she is literally like, they were looking at her and they knew her and they knew her voice. And she looks at me and she goes, "Not a word." And I was like, what do you mean, not a word? What is, I said, "What if I have a few words?" And she's like, "I mean it. Here." There she is. I cut most of the urine out. See, there they are.
Oh my gosh. And she wrote her name. Oh, that's hilarious.
Right? Yeah, no, she did. And come on. Look.
That's so funny.
And
It is on a piece of
I
paper towel.
right
What
there.
are you gonna do with a paper towel?
I don't know, maybe frame it. Well, that's all they had right then. And that's what she did. And oh, she was like, "Not a word." What? So maybe knowing how you are and how I am, we might have walked down the hall and I was like, "Celebrity, Mike Room, celebrity." And she's like, "Stop it, I don't want to be famous." Yep. My child.
Yeah, so now we're over an hour and 5 minutes.
At work. I'm not at work. Can you say specific?
Pacific?
Specific.
Yes.
Private.
Specifically what?
Not Pacific. It's not the ocean.
Yes. Pacific.
Specific.
That's what I said.
Say again.
Again.
Specific.
Thank y'all for listening to Unstoppable
Specific episode.
with Victoria.
I'm very off the market. No longer allowed to be approached by women. Husband.
Or men.
Oh yeah, I know someone who had their first crush on me.
Yeah,
It
you've
was a
done spoke
man.
about him multiple times on the air.
Yeah.
So y'all tune in next time, and please go to the website.
Tell my husband to get his head out of it, but he is gonna go and make an appointment to get a colonoscopy. It makes me so happy.
You know, hit that stop button on that.
You need a colonoscopy.
They've heard enough.
Oh, the shit.
Stop. Stop. End recording. Thank you. Good night, y'all.